Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to another episode of Unbreakably Bold. It's your host, Christina Delgado, and I am so grateful and excited to be here with you guys today. I'm also kind of dying inside because I know I haven't hopped on this mic in a minute. I honestly was so nervous to hop on this mic. It's been months. So, first and foremost, I apologize. We'll get into more of that in this episode. But today, I'm showing up for my favorite holiday of the year, which is New Year's. Hell yeah, let's go. I am ready to move past 2023 into 2024. And I cannot think of a better person to do a fun New Year's episode with. So I am bringing on my dear friend, Gia Fracalossi by Ambivalent Bitches. Hello, Gia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. This is like everything I could have ever dreamed of. I've been waiting for this moment for us to have like a collision of worlds because I mean, we've been like chatting it up for like going on what, a year and a half now. So it's
Yeah.
time. This is like the perfect moment. I feel like we both love New Year's and the energy that comes with it. So thank you for having me and even just like asking me to be a part of this because I know as like a solo podcaster you're like, yeah, I could like tackle this topic on my own, no doubt, but like how much better could it be if I have someone who can match my energy and like go into this full on with them. So it just feels right. And I'm really excited to be here.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and coming on. I completely agree with everything you just said. And I think also, like, people don't probably know this because people probably don't even realize we're friends for the most part. But Gia and I, we've been doing like bi-weekly, like, what is it? Not Zoom, but Google Meet
Google
calls
Meet. Yes.
for like truly a year and a half. Like every other Monday, we're on there hopping on 2:30, Eastern time. And we're constantly just like talking about our life and podcasting and careers and content creation. Literally anything and everything goes. And so we've seen each other through the ups and downs of this whole year, which is another reason why I thought you'd be the perfect person to come on. I think that we both seen each other through so much this year, and who better to bring the hard hitting stuff out of each other than each other.
Exactly. Like we've definitely, like you said, seen each other through so many different, evolutions that spanned over the course of 2023. It's I feel like people are like, well, how much could you have gone through in a year? And it's like, baby, just wait until we get into it because it's been a ton. And
So
it's
much.
not like overwhelming at this point because it's like in our rear view, but I think it's really important to reflect as we move into 2024 and like kind of do I heard someone refer to these kind of not that everyone's recording podcast episodes, but just like anyone who wants to just look back on their year and kind of figure out what went on. They call it like an autopsy of your life, which I think can be a little morbid for some people, but like I love analyzing. I love data because I think it's, going to inform everything you do moving forward. So I think this is going to be a fun way to do that without it necessarily being like super analytical and data driven, but we can just like kind of confess and put it all out there and then move forward, right? That's so freeing. And I need that. How about you?
Yes, I need that too. I'm ready to release it. Full moon in Cancer was just yesterday as well. Well, when you guys are hearing this, it won't be just yesterday. I don't know when I'm putting this out, obviously ASAP. But either way, full moon in Cancer just happened towards the end of December. And so,
Right.
yeah, I really like was journaling some stuff out last night, and I'm like ready to leave all of the things in 2023 behind, take the lessons, and move forward. So yeah, it's perfect timing with New Year, full moon, everything. So I'm excited to get into it with you.
Yeah, that
Um,
full moon, baby, I was feeling her and she
yeah,
was like not holding anything back. So I'm ready to just like let it all hang out in the most respectful, vulnerable way and just like let it be free. Let ourselves be
yeah.
free.
Well, and Gia is a Cancer herself, so
Yeah.
like she is the moon.
Literally, I
So
am
if
moon.
anyone's gonna feel it, it's you.
Yeah, it was like the gravitational pull was like she was dragging me up, down, left and right, every which way possible. But like it all good things, right? I think come
Yes.
from like having to mourn and also celebrate like all at once. That's what the full moon will do for you. And it's what happened for me. And I'm excited to be able to like reflect on that a little bit too. Because I mean, we've gone through so many full moons throughout this entire year, and they've
So
all
many.
brought something different that I think was necessary, which you don't always
Yeah.
want to have to like move through that hard stuff, but like that's the only way through it.
But it's also like, I don't know about you, but for me, like right around the time that a full moon's coming, I'm already ready about to explode with
Yes.
emotion and feelings. And my period, actually, I have my period on the full moon as well. Haven't started it yet, but I know it's going to start tomorrow.
She's around the corner.
Um, and yeah. And so I have my period and the full moon every single month for the most part. And yeah, so by then I'm ready.
You're
I'm
ready
ready to
for
pour
it.
everything out. My emotions are already fucking seeping out of me. So it really doesn't,
Yeah.
the full moon, it comes in perfect timing for me every single month.
That is so true. I don't think I've ever, like, put that kind of side by side like that, but I feel like it's very similar for me as well. And whenever, like, it's encroaching upon a full moon, I can, like, feel myself feeling, like, a lot, like,
Mhm.
in an
Mhm.
overwhelming sense, and then, like, the full moon comes around, and it really is, like, a time to take that deep breath and let it all out, and then I'm ready to, like, tackle, the next series of events.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No,
D
nature is wild.
It's actually wild because what's also wild with, it's all, you're going to have a full moon in a different sign every time. And each
Right.
sign that I feel like the full moon is in, it really is exactly what I need at that time. Like I remember when it was like a Virgo full moon, Virgo full moon. I was
Right.
like, all right, clean it up, bitch. It's time to organize. It's time to get your shit together. Discipline. Like, let's fucking ride, right? Like Cancer,
Yes.
it's like allow your feelings and emotions to flow. That's what Cancers do. Hate them or love them for being
Yep.
emotional in that sense. That is what a Cancer does. So embracing each, I feel like, sign that that full moon is going into as well is always, it's exactly what I need every single month almost. Like it pretty much never misses. What about you? And also I want to know if you do any like anything with a full moon. Like is there anything that you intentionally do?
Yeah, so I don't, like, hold myself to doing, like, the same thing every time because I
Yeah.
feel like that's one way to, like, start to hate something. So whenever it's a full moon, like, whatever I'm feeling in that moment that I need, like, sometimes I'll charge my crystals, sometimes I won't. Like, if I'm not feeling, like, really pulled to do something during that time, like, I don't force myself to, like, journal or sit down and, like, meditate or whatever that, like, practice is that, like, is typically associated with a full moon, like, ritualistic ceremony. I don't, like, force myself to do it, but, like you said, with the Virgo full moon, like, I do be cleaning like a psychopath. Like, you will find me upside down, like, cleaning my ceilings, and that's just, like, what I need to do in that moment, right? And then, like, specifically for this most recent one we just had, like, the Cancer one, I've been allowing myself to cry,
Mm,
cry it out and, like, let it go and, like, really I'm not, like I said, a huge journaler, like, we've been through this, I've tried my hand at it, it's not for me, but what I am is somebody who likes to just, like, talk out loud. I wonder why she has a podcast. So, I literally will go outside, and I think I've told you this before, like, I will literally talk to the sky, to the moon, to the stars, and I will just, like, let everything, like, that I've been thinking outside of me, like, I just let it go, right? So, that is
yeah.
something that I do honestly, quite often. Like, you can catch me out there, like, anytime the moon is really big, like, I'm fixated on it. I am, and I think that is because I am moon child. I've have
Mhm.
this, like not an obsession because that sounds, like, a little weird, but, like, the moon has always kind of, like, fascinated me, and I see it, and I'm just, like, staring at it in amazement. I can't tell you how many pictures in my phone I have of the moon that I just take, and I'm like, "Who is this for? Like, why am I so obsessed with, like, capturing these moments of when the moon looks so bright and big?" And I think it's
Mhm.
because I feel like almost like a kindred spirit to it, so, like, I am almost always going to be talking to the moon when it is full. I think that's, like, the main thing I do. Is that crazy?
No, it makes a lot, I don't think it's crazy at all,
Okay,
actually, and
good.
I think it
No,
makes
I
so
don't
much
howl,
sense.
I swear.
I would howl. If I had a freaking backyard, bitch, I would be out in there. I'd be laying in the dirt, like looking up at the stars and the
Yeah.
moon. Like I would be a full like nature girly in that moment. Just give me a little bit of privacy and a backyard. Oh my
Yes.
god, I am gonna be crazy whenever I end up having a home, like a safe space like that. But
Yeah.
no, I don't think it's crazy. I think it makes complete sense, and I think that like you're meant to connect with the moon in that way. And I think
Yes.
it's great that you do that, regardless of how crazy or weird it looks. And I know the journaling thing, yeah, it hasn't been like necessarily what's always called to you. So I
Right.
think like finding your modality and your way of feeling free and expressing yourself, whatever that looks like for you, for anyone, always is not, I don't think it's weird at all. I think it's always cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about other full moons now, and I feel like for me, it just no matter what the sign is, I'm always pulled to have those
Yeah.
kind of conversations with myself at that moment in time. And I think it just, like you said, comes at that perfect time where I've like bottled maybe a little bit too much up and it's like, okay, I need to spill. And I trust the moon the most. And I
Yeah.
feel like
Mhm.
I can really work through like whatever it is I'm going through at that time. I can like sort through it so much better when I just sit out there. I love to take my shoes off. That's one thing I'm so grateful
Mm.
for is I do have that backyard space. I'm not running around on four legs, I swear, but I do like to plant my feet in the grass. Now it's like a little finicky because of the weather here in Pennsylvania. It's like cold and dreary and just like not fun. But like especially in the summer and springtime, I love just walking around on my bare feet and really feeling the earth underneath me because like it's charged, baby, especially around the
Mhm.
time of a full moon. And I just like get out there and I do my thing with nature because like I do firmly believe we are one with nature. And that's not something I always believed because I did think people were crazy. Okay. Like, so I'm here to say that you can change your perspective.
Yes.
And it can absolutely be life altering in the most beautiful, positive ways. So like just open yourself up to the possibility that like maybe something else like is going on out there that we don't fully understand, but if we just like kind of open ourselves up to it and we allow there to be things and nuances that we don't know, like it can be the thing that propels you forward in life. For
It will
real.
be. Honestly, I hate to say, like, it will be. And that's not necessarily saying you have to go out every full moon and, like you said, like howl at the moon,
Yeah.
whatever. But even like go on a hike, like do something
Yes.
in nature. I'm telling you, like hiking in nature completely, like it was like a spiritual awakening within itself. I used to think like, I used to hate being outside. I used to be like, ill bugs, all this stuff. And now I'm like, bitch, if I can be outside, I want to be outside. Roast me in the sun, like get me a little dirty. Like
Yes.
there's something so freeing about it, and it's just bigger than you, and if you feel it when you go out there, it just feels so much bigger than you, and you just feel like you're kind of getting like a hug from mother nature. I feel I'm
It's
like
so
such a
comforting.
tree hugger right now.
No, it's
Hippie.
real though. Like, I think that, like, even from, like, an evolutionary standpoint, like, we are not meant to be, like, within our phones all of the time or, like,
Mm,
immersed so deeply in the media. Like, getting back out to nature as, like, crunchy as it sounds and granola as it may be, like, it is,
hmm
I think, the key or at least a piece of, like, the healing process and just, like, evolving in a really healthy way. Because, like, I know for me, like, when I was going and we'll get into it, like, through a really, like, tough time this year, I was walking like a mad woman outside in the fields. Like, I was like people probably thought like, "Oh my gosh, somebody needs to get her locked up." But, like, I was like, "I need to be out here," and I couldn't tell you, like, exactly why because, like, I'm not really, like, an adventurous, outdoorsy girl, but, like, I
hmm
felt called to do that when I was going through some shit, and it truly, I think, was, like, one of the biggest things that helped me move through that shit.
yeah, no, I believe it. You said out here in the fields.
No, I was literally, like, trekking through these
I'm like
fields.
thinking of you as like a little worker in the fields, like
Literally me, like, in my overalls and my boots.
yes, and like the exact hat that you're wearing too.
No,
Like I just
literally.
could see it. So
I'm
cute.
so farmer coded.
No, I love it. And also, I just want to throw something out there. I found this girl on TikTok and I subscribed to her email. So, like, she sends out full moon updates. She sends out like updates when things are happening in the sky
Okay.
and with
I
the
need
stars.
that.
So, yeah, it's 17 degrees is what her emails always come up as. I'll link something to
Please.
show you guys the way because she does a full like email where she tells you what's going on in the stars, what this full moon in Cancer or like full moon in whatever means. It gives you specific horoscopes like for it, and they're always spot
Stop.
on. So yeah,
And
really
that's
recommend
free?
that.
She does
Completely
that for
free.
free?
She does it for free. And she puts
Wow,
her neck into it. Like, look, it's just like so much information I'm showing as I
wow.
scroll. It's a lot. So I'll link that in some way in the description so you guys can see it if you want to know a little bit more about what's going on in the stars to help support you on your journey. Because that's the thing. Like, it's not even something that you have to be consistent about. Like, there are definitely full moons where I'm like, oh shit, I haven't done something for a full moon other than just cry naturally because it felt like I needed to cry. But I love this because if you do want to do something or even just know what's going on so you feel a little bit less crazy with all the
Right.
emotions or what you're feeling, her stuff always helps. So I'll figure out how to put that in description.
Ooh, thank you for that. Because
Yes.
like I said, I love my information. It allows you to make better decisions, and it just helps to know, like, what's going on because, like, sometimes I do feel crazy. Like
Oh,
you said, like, you can
100%.
just feel like, "What is wrong with me?" And then you just feel like you're doing something wrong or, like, you're missing something, like, what is it? Like, especially when you're on these healing journeys, like,
Mm,
sometimes I feel like I'm always missing a piece, and it's really helpful to have, like, support and, like, supplemental, like, resources that can be like, "No, no, no, like, there's a way through and, like, here it is."
yeah,
Love
it's
that.
it's the
Need that.
validation for me. Like one thing about me, I love like just validation from like what's going on in the sky with the stars, like just in the universe as a whole. Cause then I'm like, oh shit, I knew I was feeling something, especially like as an
Yes.
empath, like as somebody who's so in tune. I feel like I'm always like, to your point, the journey, I'm always like up and down, up and down. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm down today because of this, right? So gives you a
Yes.
little bit of background knowledge. So I do love a full moon. All of that to say, we just spent 15 minutes talking about full moons.
Facts.
I
No,
love
and,
it.
like, we could probably go on for an hour long more.
Uh, Shit. And I will start talking about the sun. I love the sun, but that's for
Don't get me
another
into the
time.
stars,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Literally. Okay, so I was talking with you, Gia. I was talking with you yesterday, and I was telling
Yes,
you about how I had like random questions that I wanted us to kind of go through and talk about. And so I made it into a card game.
you
I like
did it.
literally wrote them into, yeah, because one of my favorite things is like deep question games where you just have like a deck of cards that ask questions
Yeah.
and you go around with a group of people or just one other person or yourself. And you just like learn more about the people around you, about yourself. It really like makes you dig deep and come up with a thoughtful response. I feel like maybe something that you wouldn't have thought about as far as a reflection, you
Yeah.
may be thinking about today because I'm going to pop some questions. So,
Challenge me, please. I love, like, a
yes.
good, like, introspective challenge. That's, like, my bread and butter. I love that.
Yes. No, I feel you. Me too. So I'm going to also put these questions in the description so you guys can play along. Unfortunately, I don't have like printable cards or anything like that, but like, I'll just put them in there. And you
Yeah.
guys can play along or journal to these. These are great journal questions, but something to just kind of recap your, 2023 year, whether it was good, bad, ugly, beautiful, all the things. I feel like it's always good to just like, this is my favorite thing about New Year's is like just like ending and then starting something new and kind of being able to look at this year because to your point earlier, like a year is a long fucking time. Like I've been I've been multiple people this whole year. Like I don't even know where I am, who I am, a lot has happened.
Yes.
So it's nice to go through and just kind of think about your past year and then what you want to do differently or what you want to see next year, what these seeds have helped to grow this year and that will help to grow next year. So I'm excited. So we'll play a
Yeah,
little game. We
let's
can
get
totally
into
get
it.
off topic and talk about other stuff because we're just flowing today, but we'll go at random and
Oh, I'm so
we'll start with
excited.
it. Yay. Okay, me too. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Okay. What are you most proud of this year? Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, we're starting with a heavy hitter.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know that was a good one.
Okay.
You got
What
it.
am
You
I
got it
most
first,
proud
G.
of this year? So, I mean, I think being proud of yourself is like really courageous, especially as a woman, because
Mm,
I feel like we're told a lot to humble ourselves and to like stay small and to not really champion ourselves. I feel like that's just like a narrative that has personally been instilled in me as I've like grown up in this world. And I think this is the year where I've like firmly decided that like I'm allowed to be proud of myself for literally anything that I
mm,
choose to be proud of myself for. Like it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. Like I could have literally woken up this morning and it's like I'm proud that I even like touched my feet to the ground because that's fucking hard sometimes. I think I am mostly if I have to like really hone in on something I'm most proud of is that I didn't allow a lot of the hardships that I endured this year to harden me. They have not changed who I am as a human being. And they very well like could have. I could have allowed certain experiences I had to make me just be a shitty person because like when shitty things happen to you, it makes you feel like, oh, there's no hope in this world. Like nothing is good. Why do I need to keep staying like nice and good? You know?
mm-hmm,
And for me, like, there was a moment where I was like really angry this year and I was feeling just really hurt. And there's truth to the saying that like hurt people, but baby, I didn't want to be hurt anymore. I wanted to heal. Like I made that decision for myself that like I'm gonna heal and like I'm gonna be proud of myself for choosing that. So I chose like literally every day, every moment to like do the better thing that I knew wouldn't make me like hate myself that night, you know? Because I wanted to
Mhm.
lay my head down like knowing that I'm still me and me, I am a good person. So like that's what I'm most proud of is I didn't like it's not that I like allowed shit to like roll off my back because like I still had to like deal with it. Like the really like awful things that I went through, like they still happen and I still had to process that, but I didn't allow it to like harden me and like make me be a mean person when it probably like should have made me be a mean person. Like I
Yeah.
maintained that like loving like aspect of myself because like to my core, like even beyond like astrology, like I just am somebody who loves like the people that I love, you know?
Mhm.
And like the fact that I still am open to like giving love and even receiving because sometimes that could be hard like if you've ever been hurt by friends or family or in a romantic relationship, like whatever it is, it can really turn you cold and be like, I never want to even receive love again. But I've really stayed open to all of it because, like, I know I deserve a good life. I know I deserve to feel love and to be loved and to give love. So yeah, that's what I think I'm most proud of. How about you?
I love that. And yes, you have absolutely been through it, and this, these things could have definitely brought you down, made you, to your point, a hard, cold person. And it makes sense. Like you really are just a little lover girl. You're such a Cancer. You see, like
I
you are
really
the
am.
moon. Like you are nurture, mother, everything. And so that really makes sense for you. And I have to say, I'm proud of you for that too, because I
Thank you.
can't say that it would have looked the same for me, to be honest. So I
Yeah,
like
and
that.
that's, like,
That's a good
okay.
thing to
I
be
think
proud of.
that's, like, important though too is that, like, this was my experience, right? This is, like, how I processed and how I came out the other end, and, like, for every person who goes through something hard, like, you're going to, like, proceed with that differently because it does, like, structurally change who you are as a person, and, like, in
Mhm.
some ways, like, things I've gone through, like, trauma especially, like, it has rewired my brain in certain ways, and it has made me, like, do things a little differently, but like at your core, like who you are as a person, I feel like that often doesn't really change, especially if you're like aware that like you deserve to still be you. Like no matter
Yeah.
what somebody else or whatever happened around you like has gone on, like you still like deserve to be you and you deserve to be
Yeah.
proud of that.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I honestly just hearing that, because okay, this is totally off topic, and I know I shouldn't be talking about myself, but this is gonna be like
Yes,
my
you should.
therapy today too.
Yeah, get into it.
um, Recently, like I really realized, I think like I definitely have hardened myself when it comes to like specific people. I think in situations like my family,
Yep.
I'm probably the coldest I've ever been. Like I was thinking about this the other day. I used to be like very loving, like always just okay, I accept whatever happened and I'm still going to like shower you with love. And I think I've learned that like I turn that on for certain people, and then with other people I am a little bit more detached and withdrawn, just probably as definitely like a coping mechanism, and like just to defend, save myself, I guess, in that way, like keep myself
Yeah.
safe. But that is something I actually want to shift, in this next year. I don't know how the fuck. So if anybody's got any tips, or maybe you got tips for me on how to just like be like, how do maybe I'll put you on the spot with that. Like, how would you say that you're able to still be such a loving person when you've been hardened by situations, and maybe like thinking about with specific people, maybe parents? Like I know that like family hasn't come easy for you. I know you have your own story and journey with that. So like how do you continue to show love, patience, and kindness to your family when your family is kind of like probably the people that have hurt you the most out of many people?
Yeah. So yeah, family is so complex. I think that like anybody could say that about their family. It's just like so messy,
Yeah.
and so just like there's many different personalities and everybody's coming at it from a different angle. But for me, what has helped me so much, and I think this is where like my existential spirit like really works for me when often it works against me because I'm usually like, oh my God, like I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like it's all happening so fast and like I have no grasp on any of it.
Mhm.
But zooming out sometimes I know can be intimidating, but I do that often in moments where I feel like I'm quick to anger, I'm quick to judge, or I want to like be cold or hard. I really like think about, these people in my life. How would I feel without ever seeing them again? Right. Because like
Mhm.
life can literally change instantaneously. And I know that's not like going to work for everyone, because some people are like, bitch, I don't want to see these people ever again. And that's so valid. But for the people that, if you ask that question to and you're like, oh my gosh, like my heart, my soul, like could not take not having these people in my life, that always like snaps me back into reality and into my purpose, which is literally to care and to serve and to nurture.
Yeah.
And especially I'm a caregiver to one of my parents, and that is not always the easiest thing to take on, especially when you're like in your 20s. But I often like have to zoom out on that as well when it's getting hard, and realize that like I'm literally on borrowed time with everyone I love, and even with my own self. Like this is not forever, and I have to just like let it go sometimes. Like forgiveness for me, it hasn't always come easy, but when it finally arrives, like I really am able to like fully forgive, which is kind of crazy, I know, because like you want to hold on to shit sometimes, right? And I don't know, sometimes I want to be passive aggressive and like bring shit up or like hold it against people, but like to my core, like I want to forgive and I want to love. So I choose that. I think it's always a decision. Like your life literally boils down to like the choices you make. Oftentimes, like there are little nuances here and there, but like you just have to decide, like, do I love these people enough to like forgive and to move past and to literally wipe the slate clean, which is like crazy, right? But like I swear to God,
Yeah.
it's changed my life for the better.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've forgiven, like I feel zero, like, I feel zero of that energy. Like I really have forgiven. I'm cool with everything. Where I'm at is like, I'm just like irritated pretty often. Like I'm in a
Yeah.
fucking annoyed state. Like,
Okay. No,
it's
that's
like,
valid. That's real.
yeah, it's like I really have forgiven my family for everything. I totally get it. I think I was able to do that at a younger age. Like I was just able to see all sides, and I am pretty good at that, like being able to see all sides, all angles. And so I really have forgiven, but like
Yeah.
now I'm just like annoyed and irritated around my family, which is so sad to say. And like I still can like have so much love for them and feel like love for them, but it's so weird. Like even if I got this like sign in my head that was like, Christina, just go hug your parents, for 1 minute total, like I would have been like, oh, I'm irritated. I gotta go. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
to, you know? So I think
Yeah.
it's more of like overriding like just the irritation. It's probably
Yes.
figuring out why I'm irritated, which I do know a little bit of why I'm irritated, but like it's more of just like I just am in an irritated, annoyed state, and I don't really want to be there longer than I need to be there. And I
Yeah.
do want to get past that because, to your point, life is short, and I do love my family, so I want to be able to
Yes.
spend time and like be patient enough to hear their stories and like care more.
Yes. And
That probably makes me sound like a total asshole.
no, it doesn't, because it's valid, and I think that's part of just the process. Is like I was really annoyed and irritated for a long while. Like I would not hold conversations with certain people in my life because I was just like, why are we doing this? Like, do you
Hmm.
not recall like what just all happened? Like I don't have the time or the energy or the space for this. And I can't exactly pinpoint like what shifted in that, but I think maybe I can, because I just feel like there's been a lot of loss in many different ways surrounding me, whether it was like a physical loss, like somebody dying, or also just like really feeling like how fleeting just time is in general. I think that like really slapped me back into like, okay, bitch, like sometimes even when you are feeling irritated, you have to just, like you said, override it, because it's just like kind of just like this little annoying thing on your shoulder that's like, ugh, like I still want to be a little bit mad and I want to be a little bit angry, but then like there is this other part of you that's like, I know I should do this. Like I know one day I will look back and I will have wanted to like ask those questions, have those conversations, have those moments. And it's like I said, it all boils down to like a choice, which is like
Yeah.
so annoying that the ball is literally always in our court. And sometimes I'm like, but can somebody else pick it up, please?
Definitely annoying, but also thank God it's in my hands and not other
Yes.
people's, you know? Like, it's like, I can't
Yes,
decide, but I totally
100%.
resonate with how you feel about it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
tired. Like, what's that meme or that video? I'm
Oh, the
tired,
kid.
grandpa, or whatever the fuck. I'm tired. Like, somebody help me. Somebody guide me. Somebody tell me
Yes.
what to do. Like, fuck.
Like, I'm one more choice away from, like, I don't know, like
A true fucking freak out. I'll tell you. Like, I'm so tired of making big decisions.
No,
Like, I'm
seriously, and
over
that's, like,
it.
I wasn't ready for that in adulthood, like, that's a whole other thing, like, we could eventually get into, but, like,
Exhausting.
every moment almost of your life is like you're making a choice, and it's like, "Oh my god," like, is there just, like, a moment where I can just, like, not have to fucking do that? Everything, every
Yeah.
little detail, like, in your life, like, today I went to the grocery store and I'm like, "Oh my god, every choice I make in this aisle is gonna dictate, like, what food I now eat at home," or, like, what like, you know what I
Oh
mean? Like,
god. Oh, you're
these
deep
little
in it.
well, like, it's like I when I, like, really break it down, I'm like, "It doesn't stop." But then
Yeah,
one day
it
it does
doesn't.
stop, and then you're like, "Fuck," like, I should have not, like, taken that shit for granted, you know? So it's like, I
Yeah.
am grateful that I do have the freedom to make choices because I know that's not the case for everyone. So, like, having that ability to do that, it makes me wanna be, like, not taking advantage of it, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense
That definitely
at
makes
all.
sense. No, I totally resonate with that. Yeah. I agree. Okay, so what am I most proud of this year? I would say the obvious.
Yeah.
Uprooting my entire life and moving to California. That's definitely what I am most proud of this year. It's crazy because moving to California, living by the beach has been something I have talked about since I was in like the third grade. Like, I remember talking about it as early as being little and being like, I'm going to live by the beach in LA and I'm going to drive there and la la la. I'm going to be a star. Like, I'm literally living in my dreams right now. So I would say I'm most proud of that.
Wait, was that the first time you, like, dropped that bomb to your Unbreakably Bold family?
No, they
Okay.
know. Yeah, you guys know, but like I haven't really talked about really my like transition here. That's because you guys, it's all over the fucking place. And
Yeah.
I don't know where I am. I'm like I don't know who I am. Like it's crazy. I look at pictures even from like when I was moving, packing boxes to come here and like I don't know her. Like I look in the eyes of like those pictures of myself and I'm like I just don't even resonate with that person anymore. It's so weird. So I feel like that's part of the reason I felt almost like just like stifled and like not able to
Right.
like come to my mic and like speak with everybody is because like I really don't know what the fuck's going on. And I feel like it's truly just up and down. And the crazy thing is like my move to California, I know that I'm in the right place because everything was so aligned and everything has been in flow. Like I really knock on all the wood, but like I have not had any any resistance when it has come to my move to California. Everything has worked out perfectly down to like the place that I found, the time that I found it, everything has been great. So I know I've made the right decision. That being said, everything's been in alignment and smooth sailing. At the same time, I have been just like I think healing a lot of shit. I think a lot of wounds have come up. I'm by my family for the first time in 10 years. I haven't been around family at all for 10 years. And I've just been healing a lot of wounds and a lot of old wounds that I thought that I healed and worked through have punched me in the motherfucking face out here. I'm like, damn, this California's got hands for me, but you know, that's that's for another time. But yeah, it's been a journey. So they know
Yeah.
that I moved, but they don't really know like what I've been working through because I haven't really shared because I don't barely know what the fuck I've been working through because I'm working through something new every other week. It feels like every week there's like something that hits my emotions and I'm like, "Oh my god, I got to work on this now."
I know. I
Crazy.
was listening to Giggly Squad. I don't know if you know that podcast, but they
Yeah.
have this saying of like, "Oh, that hasn't come across my desk yet." And it's just like a funny little cheeky saying. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, a new thing, a new piece of my healing journey comes across my desk literally every day." And like again, freaking choices. It's like, which one are we going to deal with today? And it's like when you're
Yeah.
going through these massive transitions, like moving across the country, uprooting your entire life, being around family again, it's like, which one do I tackle like first? And like, I know we always talk about like getting to the root to these problems and then it kind of extends outward, but it's like, what's the root? Like, I don't even know
Well,
what the root is.
bitch, I know my root. Abandonment. That's my root. That's my root. Abandonment, rejection, insecurity. That's my root.
That's it. Oh my God. My headphones came right off my head because, like, it's so
Bitch.
fucking real. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
always my root. Unfortunately, I don't my problem isn't these days. It's no longer what's the root? What's the root? My issue is we know the root. We thought we worked through the root. There's deeper to go apparently in the root.
Nope. Like, she's extended, like, here we have these big, trees here in Pennsylvania, and our roots on our actual tree are going underneath our home, and I'm like, "Damn, this shit is buried."
Oh
Like
my
like, for
gosh.
real, and I'm like, "No, but, like, that's, like, us." Like, our shit, like, extends and it prods at other things in your life, and it messes with other shit if you literally don't deal with that, like,
It
initial
does.
thing. Like,
It
seeing, like, a
does.
physical embodiment of that, like, in front of my eyes tangibly, I was like, "Damn, okay, so I got a little more digging to do." So that's fascinating.
Oh, wait, that's actually crazy though. That's a good what is that? An analogy or yeah,
I'm not sure, Christina, I
metaphor? I
didn't
don't know.
major in English. I was psych, I skipped over all of that stuff.
True. Me too, bitch.
No, I was so bad at English in high school because I just, like, didn't wanna read. And I still don't wanna
No,
read.
I
That's
feel
not
that.
something I'm doing in 2024, babes. Like, I know all these bookstagrammers, they wanna be reading books and stuff, but it's never gonna be me. It's not, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But the crazy thing is wait, did you get your bachelor's in psychology?
I sure did. Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah,
And
but the crazy thing is to get a bachelor's in psychology, your ass is reading. Your ass is
no,
reading
okay, but
research,
the thing is,
constant.
like, I loved reading, like, studies. Like,
Yeah, I
I won't
agree.
be reading a book. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, anything that involves me reading, like, a chapter book, no, I won't be doing it. But, like, you throw a bunch of, like, JSTOR, like, analytical studies in front of my face, I'm like, "Oh my god, numbers." Like, I love data. I love
Yeah,
data.
I'm the exact same way, so I feel you.
Well, that's probably
Okay.
why we love podcasting too, because, like, this shit, like, the back end of it is, like, literally all, like, numbers and all that kind of jazz,
It is.
so
You can be like definitely numbers, and I feel like you can be very like precise about things. Like that's why I love editing, which like I
yeah.
say I love editing, yet I fucking hate like it takes me 8 years. Like I wait till the last minute to go and edit all my stuff. But like when I get into the flow, I'm obsessed with editing. I love to be precise. Like I love getting it down to the right second and like
Yes.
all of this stuff.
Getting the music
So
to
no, it
match
makes
up,
sense.
like, precisely, I know,
The
it's
literal
like,
beat drop like at the same time that my
ugh,
voice drops or like something, like, oh,
I'm
I
giving you
love that. It geeks.
chills.
I know we're losers. It geeks
We're
me
singing.
out. Like I don't need much, but I just need stuff like
I
that.
just
I'm
need that.
unique. Yeah. I'm unique. Okay. All right, let's get into our next question.
Yes, what will it
Oh, this one
be?
looks like a long one. You see it? Okay, you
Oh,
can't see it. All
okay.
right. What's one thing you did this year that you were too afraid to do before? What's the next fear you want to conquer?
Oh, my
I can
gosh.
take this one first
Can
if
you
you
take
want.
the wheel? And I'll be
Yeah.
trying to listen to you, but also, like, processing what that is for me.
Yes. Okay. So for me, this is going to sound so simple because it is. One thing that I did this year that I was too afraid to do before, not that I ever really had the opportunity, but I know if I did, I would have not have done it because I would have been scared. I took a beach volleyball class with like obviously a bunch of strangers. I know.
Yeah, but that's
um,
fun.
and that's so simple. But for me, this is where I'm telling you guys like the healing, the wounds. For me, I used to be so insecure and like terrified of like feeling embarrassed or stupid or like, you're on a team and you're the worst player and people like leave and they judge you. And that definitely came up for me during when I actually did it. But like before that would have stopped me, I was still like, okay, I might have those feelings, but like I have tools. I am okay. Like everybody has to start somewhere, right? Starting something new for the first time can feel scary and you may leave feeling like, oh my God, that felt embarrassing. But it's the fact that you did it and you put yourself out there. So I would say that was one thing for me. Like I took a beach volleyball class and it was very out of my comfort zone. I have a bad ankle. Okay. Like it was scary out there with a bunch of strangers, but I did it and I felt stupid almost every single minute of the way. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm fully sucking. But I just like kind of flowed and I allowed my personality to take over, which is like my life skill. Like I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but one thing about me, I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna make people feel good. And so I did. And so that was one thing that I would say I wouldn't have done in the past, or I would have been afraid to do. Just like putting myself out there, trying something new, especially a sport, is big for me. And then what's the next fear that you want to conquer? The next fear that I want to conquer, but who knows when and if I ever will, which you may be able to relate to this, Gia. I would love to feel less fear. Like I would love to conquer doing karaoke, like singing a song at karaoke. I know that's so crazy.
Okay,
It's
let's do
so
it together
crazy.
because like I will sing my heart
So
out, babe.
you
I love karaoke.
Okay, because this is the thing. A little background behind myself and Gia, which I'll let Gia give her own background, which I also just realized we didn't even do an official introduction. So I'm so sorry.
It's
We
okay.
can
No, I feel
maybe
like the
edit in.
Unbreakable Bold babes like already know me. Like, is that crazy to
I
think
honestly,
that?
no, I also kind of felt that as well. And if
Okay.
not, I feel like they'll just go look you up and then
Just like
they'll know that.
stalk me. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking that they kind of know you too. But yeah, so Gia and I, we used to be like little singer, dancer, actress, right? Like we were all in that little
Yeah.
entertainment world. But like Gia actually was like she like modeled and is in like weren't you you're in like ads for shit.
I know, like, my parents had me working out in these streets from the time that I could literally form my own thought. They said, "She will be getting a paycheck."
Period.
I but the thing is, like, they didn't force me because I was just, like I remember just being so obsessed with, like, TV and, like, watching I was obsessed with Britney Spears as a kid, like, you could catch me at any given moment, like, shaking my hips like she did at the MTV Music Awards, like, I was just
Yes.
insane, so, like, I loved media and I was like, "What is my way into this?" And I begged my parents, "Put me in modeling school, please. Like, that's all I want for Christmas is to be a little model." And we did this, like, it was like a couple week long like course that we would drive. It was like 2 hours away, and then at the end of it, they had like kind of it was like a casting call, and then they picked one
Mhm.
of the people in the class to like be signed to the agency. And I, from the moment I popped out of the womb, I've been competing with literally anybody that would let me compete with them. And I was like, I will win this thing. I was so driven at that age of like, I was literally 5 or 6. And I ended up actually getting like the contract, and it was so, I feel like that was like the first moment I was like, whoa, I just accomplished a goal. Like I did a thing that I like said I wanted to do. And from that moment forward, I started doing like just a lot of commercial stuff. I was doing like Boss Cobb's Bonton ads, but just like being on sets and seeing how that all
Mm.
worked, I was just obsessed with it. And then I landed my first like really big deal gig, which was with I was on a Crayola box. You can look it up on
Dude,
Google.
that's crazy.
It's so funny, like, it's not sold anymore, but I do remember, like, when it finally dropped in stores, my mom went to our local Walmart and she was like, "Can I just, like, have the whole, like, the how they have, like, the end, like, little stocked
End
shelves and
cap.
it has."
Yeah.
Yes, so it was, like, one of that, and, like, I was on it. I was holding a sign that says, "I heart Joe." I don't know
Oh
who
my
Joe is, but
God.
that's what it said. I was, like, holding it, and it was, like, a 2-day long set day. I remember it so vividly because I was like, "Damn, like, this is something I dreamed about, and, like, now I'm doing it." But then as I grew older, like, the modeling industry is quite toxic, and I just didn't meet, like, the weight and height standards and stuff like that, so I really phased out quite, like, rapidly. But
Yeah.
I just, like, through and through since I was a kid, like, I wanted to perform, I wanted to entertain, and I just wanted to have a good time, for real. Like, I just wanted to have fun, and that's what modeling allowed me to do. And then I was in singing lessons until I was, like, 14 years old, and I just couldn't not sing. Like, if anybody asked me to do anything that involved, like, holding a tune, I'd be there, like, snap of a finger. Any talent shows, any local recitals, any competitions, I was there, front row, like, ready to do my thing. I haven't sang in years, though. That's something I'd love to do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll do it. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do it because it's actually like I always have been scared to sing in front of people. It's so crazy.
Really?
Like
Like, big crowds or just,
terrified.
like, even small, like, amounts of
Even
people, just
small,
no
even
matter?
like one of the yeah, like I used to when I did sing and I like did singing lessons and stuff back in the day, I would obviously do it with my singing lessons coach, but like other than
Right.
that, my family would be the only ones that I would sing in front of, maybe like a couple of close best friends. And then Yeah, as soon as especially when I told myself like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore, I just like stopped cold turkey and like I was like,
Yeah.
no one will ever hear me sing again, like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So all
So
this to
drama.
say, it's
Yeah.
so drama. But yeah, all this to say that I just went to karaoke literally last weekend. And I was like, I am never getting up there. Like, there's no way that y'all are getting me up there. Like, y'all can sign me up, y'all can put my name on there. I'm not going. So,
I will be
so that
Irish
is one
goodbye.
thing. Yeah, I'm good on that. So
Like, where'd
that's one thing
Christina
that,
go?
yeah,
She dipped like
literally.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah, she's in the bathroom talking to people. That was literally what happened. But yeah, no. So that would be one thing that I would love to prove to myself one day that like
You
I
can do
could
that.
just like conquer that fear because it's a large
Yes.
fear. So I don't know if
And
it's going to be in
but, like,
2023, but it's
it's so
happening.
attainable though. Like, I feel like in the right setting with the right people, like, you could totally make that happen and overcome
Yeah.
that. I feel it.
Yeah. Okay, what's yours?
Okay. What's the question again?
Okay. Okay, it's what's one
I
thing
have
you
the answer, but I just forget what the exact, like, reference was. I
Yeah.
wanna make sure, like, I say it correctly.
No, it's okay. Okay, what's one thing you did this year that you were too afraid to do before? Question mark.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the next fear you want to conquer? Question mark.
Okay. Got it. Something that I was like, I've always been so afraid to do. And I finally think like not that I've mastered it, but I've been doing it a lot more is like asking for help. I
Mm,
have always been somebody who felt like I had to go everything alone. For some reason, just like something inside of me is like I just had this like weird belief that like if I was going through anything or I was just like having a hard time, like that was on me to sort through that. And in a lot of ways, I think it does come down to you to solve like your own problems. But I do think there are also areas in your life where you can say like, hey, I need some help, whether that's confiding in a friend or that's like getting professional help, or if it's just like being open with people like I need to set a boundary or I can't do this right now, like I need you to just like respect like what I'm going through and just like give me my time. I feel like I've been really good at like communicating that kind of stuff. Like if I'm going through something instead of like hiding it and pretending like everything is fine cuz I always used to be the I'm fine girl when like on the inside I was dying for real, like not okay, like really really close to like doing like dangerous harmful things to myself. And now I've gotten to a point where it's like why would I do that to myself when like I mean, I went to school, studied psychology. I was also in grad school. I really wanted to become a therapist. I was like the biggest proponent for like people asking for help, whether it's mental health or something other than that, just like saying like I can't go this alone, but like I wouldn't give myself that permission to do that. And I think this year I really did that, and it was super scary to just be vulnerable because, like, I always wanna frame myself as this, like, really strong, woman who can, like, handle her shit, but it's like sometimes your world comes crushing down and, like, you can't pick that all back up on your own, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're weak, it doesn't mean you have failed, it just means that you're human, right? And, like,
yeah.
humans are meant to be supported by other humans, right? That's literally how, like, our societies have been built was through community and connection and compassion for each other. So I think just, like, doing that for yourself it's been a gift for me, and I just wanna empower other people to, like, know that, like, there are people out there that can be your safe people and that you can, confide in and trust to like help you along your journey. You do not have to go anything alone unless you want to, right? There are some people who do enjoy like being like alone and just like sorting through their shit and just doing life that way. But for me, I realized that like I'm surrounded by people who love me. Like, why don't I just like let them help me and support me?
How do you let them help you and support you?
So I like have been very communicative where in the past I have like not ever said a word. Like I would just be the I'm fine girl, like for real. Like I would just be like in the trenches and just be like, no, I'm fine. Like it's okay. Like don't worry about it. But now I'm like really open about where I am and what I'm feeling and experiencing and asking people like, say it's my mom. I'm like, can you maybe like help me do some household chores because I feel like I can't even like brush my teeth right now. Like I just need some help. I feel really down. There was a moment like it was last December into January where I was like really in a dark place just like mentally for literally no reason. I was like what is going on? Like I just like felt so dark and I don't know, it was just like it was a really, really bad moment in my life, and instead of, like, shielding everyone from that in my life, I was just, like, honest, like, something isn't right up here, and I allowed people to, like, talk me through it instead of just, like, putting myself, like, in a hole because, like, that's what I would do. I would just, like, isolate, and I would just feel like I had no right to, like, communicate these thoughts. Like, I was like, "I have to keep it to myself or, like, I'm a burden." And I think
Yeah.
that's something super important is, like, when there are people who truly love you, like, you won't be a burden to them. Like, you can say the things, and if they're, like, people who are really truly meant to be in your life and they really truly love you, they're not gonna, like, make you feel bad at all. Like,
Yeah.
they're going to want to help you through it. So I think it's just, like, been for me, like, being honest with myself first, like, I'm going through something, and then being honest with my people and communicating, like, I just need support in this way or that way or whatever it is in that specific case. And then it just, like, opens up this opportunity, though, to, like, strengthen those relationships too, because then you can, like, show them that they can do the same backwards. Like, if they're going through something, like, they can now confide in you in that same way. So it's really opened up so many doors in my life where, like, I can have really strong bonds with, like, the people that I love and not have to, like, shield them from certain parts of me. Like, they now see it all. And, like, the people who've stuck around, like, they love it all, like, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You do, it's so true. You do give them, by giving yourself permission, you give them permission to, to get the support and the love and stuff too. Cuz I can definitely relate to that. I'm definitely the strong friend, right? Like I just was like texting a friend the other day and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I just always assume you're thriving." I'm like, "Yeah, bitch. Yeah, yeah, yeah." Like that's what
Mhm.
happens. But
Yeah.
and I am, and the crazy part is I'll like speak in that and I'm like, I mean, I feel like I am always thriving.
For real, no, like, there's such a duality to
Yeah,
all
there
of us,
really
right?
is.
Like,
Like you can be
it lives side by
thriving.
side.
Yeah, you can be like doing well in life and things be aligned. Like I'm living now, I feel like there's never any reason for me to ever bitch about anything because I'm like, I live by the beach. Like it's nice. I could go outside and like not wear a jacket today. Like, what is there for me
Oh,
to be upset about? But, that
seriously.
also, there is the duality of like, you can feel so grateful for where you are and the things that you have. And at the same time, it's okay to feel a lot of emotion about certain things and to be working through things. So I love that. That's a very good thing that you have done for yourself this year then.
Thank you. I'm trying to
I
think
love
of what fear I wanna conquer next
that.
year.
Yeah.
That is it's interesting because on one hand, like, I've been really open and communicative with, like, the people in my life. Um, but there's also this part of me that, like, specifically in terms of, like, my podcast, I have been holding my voice back. So it's really weird how in some ways you can open up yourself and then in other aspects you can't. But it's like I'm doing the same thing. Like, my podcast is like me talking about my lived experiences and my healing journey, but I've been really biting my tongue a lot with that. Like, I think, like, public presentation of my journey has been, like, really hard for me, and I think yeah, this is, like, really similar to you too. You're like, "I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know how to, like, address what I'm going through in this public forum right now," and
Yeah.
that feels really, kind of sad to me because, like, when I started my
It's so
podcast, I was
sad.
yeah, it hurts me a little bit because I'm like, "Damn," like, I started this and I was just like I would get on the microphone and cry and I wouldn't, like, have a care in the world, like, I would just, like, put it all out there and I wouldn't think twice about it, but now I'm thinking not just twice about it, I'm thinking 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, overthinking it to the point where it stops me completely.
100% with you.
So I just need, I think, this year to figure out how to overcome that fear of, like, feeling overexposed because I think that's what it comes down to is I feel like I'm, like, putting myself in a position where I could somehow be, like, targeted or, like, my anxiety, like, brings out these, like, irrational kind of series of events that I think are gonna happen if I, like, put something out there into the universe. I just feel, like, frightened of, like, the aftermath, but, like, I know, like, logically that the aftermath isn't scary. Like, I know that, but for some reason, being vulnerable, like, has that tendency to make you feel that way, especially if you're somebody who suffers, like, from anxiety and, like, obsessive compulsive thought patterns. So that's something, a fear I would really love to overcome is that, like, fear of just being overexposed in, like, being able to tell my story because I wanna tell my story because I think there's power in that for anyone. Like I would love everyone to buy a microphone and just like I would love to hear everybody's different perspectives on life because I think it's so valuable. Um but it's not easy work. So like to any podcaster out there who is like hopping on that mic weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is, and you're like really putting yourself out there in an intimate setting, which isn't so intimate, right? Like you're sharing intimate things, but it's like going out to the
It
World Wide
is
Web.
so not intimate.
Right? Isn't it? But it's so weird because like as a solo podcaster, you sit down by yourself in your room. So you're just like, it's just you and the mic, right? So you're doing
Literally.
this like really intimate thing, you think, and then you put it out, you broadcast it to literally anyone anywhere. And I think that is a bit of a like a mind fuck to me and
Yeah.
why I start to overthink it because I'm like, yeah, I'm safe like talking about all of this stuff and then it's like it becomes somehow unsafe when I release it to the world and I would love to overcome that fear.
That is such a good one. Okay, I
Thank
take all of your answer. Well, not the first one, but the second one of like a fear to conquer, because that is something like I gotta figure it out next year. Like to your point, like and I know for both of us, like when we started our podcast, I was literally journaling about this last night. Like I was always lit the fuck up. And you
Right.
could tell, like you can tell when you're listening. I felt so in flow. I felt so strong. I felt so empowered. And then I think for me this year is when like my dad heard my podcast and heard
Mhm.
something that he didn't like, didn't talk to me for 4 months. And it was a huge part of my year. And that is why I know that now I'm real. I've always known that it goes out to everyone, right? Like anyone can hear this, like anyone
Yeah.
ever. But I think like it being used against me for the first time really fucked me up and has kept me a little bit shyer. And I still feel like what I have to say matters. And I still want to share my story and I still want to share it for other people, right? Like we're both so in line with like our purpose and like what we want to do with our podcast. But yeah, man, it can go from like easy, exciting flow to like scary and like daunting. And like, I swear I'll just like look at my mic and want to hop on it so bad. And then to your point, analysis paralysis, bitch. Like,
Yes.
analysis paralysis has really been fucking with me this year and I'm over her. Like, I have to get out of my head. And so I
Yes.
really like that. That's a good fear to conquer next year. And I'm going to work to conquer that too. And thank God I already know I have you and we're going to work through it together because we already
Yes.
are working through it together. Like we already have seen each other through the seasons of this podcast journey. So I know that we're going to figure it out in our time.
We absolutely will. And I'm excited to figure it out because I think at the other end of this, there's going to be just this insane opportunity to hopefully help so many people, you know? And
Yeah.
that's like always been, you know, my ultimate goal. And I believe yours as well is like you want to serve people, you want to
So
help
bad.
them.
More than I like
Yeah.
want to breathe, I feel.
Literally, I literally just want to make people feel safe. I want to make people feel heard and understood. And like I know that this is the modality that like I feel most, you know, like drawn to doing that through, but right now there's just resistance and it's all on me. And I will work through it. We will work through it and I'm excited to see like what comes of it once it's been
Yeah.
dealt with.
And you know what's beautiful? We are working through it, not will work through it. We are right now, as we're on this
Yeah.
mic, showing up
Crazy.
for
Yeah.
everybody and for ourselves, more importantly. So proud of
Yes.
us.
I am too. Literally, I retract what I said I was proud of before. Like this is it. This is the
No,
moment.
that you're keeping, you can have two.
Thank you.
Okay, that was good. Next question. Damn, bitch, we're really taking up time.
We
I was
are.
like, are these too many questions? Okay, we'll try to work through these a little
Okay.
quicker.
We'll keep it. Oh yeah,
Okay,
speed round.
this is a good one. Yeah, speed round. Highest and lowest part of your year. Ooh,
Okay. Spooky.
yeah. I'm like, oh god.
Like this is scary. The lowest part of my year, um, it was probably like the whole thing. Just kidding. No, like around like
Can't pick one.
springtime. And like it was all pretty traumatizing to be honest. So no, I
Literally.
think there was a part of like in the springtime. I think it coincides with when I took my first break from my podcast. I was just moving through a lot of challenging stuff in my personal life. I was feeling very, very burnt out. I was feeling very frustrated and for many different reasons, like heartbroken and just quite frankly sad, right? Like my mental health was in the gutter. I was feeling like there was going to be no way out of it. And that really, really sucked. And I think that my high was like finally like seeing the light and like getting the fuck out of it. And it literally was a decision. Are you guys annoyed with me for saying that? For like saying that everything comes down to a choice? But
It's
like
true
for
though.
real, like I was going through it. I was like fully in the trenches. I hated my life. I hated myself. I hated literally everyone and everything in the springtime. And then like something just happened in my brain and I was like, why am I living with so much hate and so much like resentment when I could just choose to like live in the other direction? And I was like, I am 20. I was 24 at the time. I wasn't even 25 yet. I'm like a baby. I'm like, I'm already giving up on like it all. Like, you're kidding me. Like, there's so much more life to live. And I think when that like clicked in my brain, literally that's when all of my perspectives started shifting, like even on like with my family or my loved ones or my friends. I was like, this shit is so short. It's all like a blip. Like the really hard stuff is like so small. And then you just are like, no, I have to keep living. And like when I decided like I'm gonna keep living, oh my God, like I fucking lived again. Like I did it. And that was my high. And I've been on that like pretty much a high ever since. Like I actually feel in control of my emotions for the first time, I think, in my life. Like I don't feel like I'm tail spinning. I don't feel like anybody else can like really have like an effect on me anymore. Like I really had to like, I think, go through that really
Period.
hard time to realize that like I am like the driver here, babe. And the ball is truly always in my court.
Yes. You got to break down and break through. I stand by that shit.
Yes. Yes. That was like I was living that fully, like embodying that. And it was so hard. I'm not going to say like I just woke up one day and it didn't hurt anymore, because there are still moments even now where I'm like, oh, like the fact that I went through that, it was traumatizing. And the fact that like I had to endure something that was out of my control, like that fucking sucked. But
Yeah.
also the fact that I'm like still here and I'm still living life and I still smile and I still laugh and I still like engage and connect with people. I'm like, shit, it wasn't that bad. It must not have been, right?
Yeah.
It didn't knock me down for too long.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not even to say it wasn't that bad, but like it goes to show the work that you've put in on yourself, right? And like your tools and like knowing that you want better for your life. And like this thing that happened to you was out of your control, but what is in your control is how you're going to move forward. So I think
Yes.
if anything, it really like shows your growth, because I know you've been doing, this work on yourself and allowing, yourself to just flow through emotions and feelings and like doing your best to do it without judgment, which is everything.
Yes. No, it's life changing in
Yes.
the most beautiful of ways. How about you? You're
Yes.
high and low. Look at me trying to sing on this fucking podcast. Oh my
Oh,
God.
girl,
I'm becoming
you're in it
delusional.
on your own. Okay, my highest part was I hate to be repetitive, probably just like moving to California, but not even moving to California. I think the moment of the space where I was actually making it happen, like on my own,
Yeah.
doing the things like, putting the deposits down, looking for the places, like the part where I really realized like which this was probably like July, I would say, was probably like, yeah, June, July. Was really when I realized, like, damn, I am really in this bitch. Like, I really was like, I am so powerful. Like, I really can just like do whatever I want. I can get whatever I want. I can be whoever I want. Like, it was a very powerful
Yes.
moment. So I think that was my high, like, just literally me making my dreams come true and seeing it all flow so effortlessly and beautifully, which also showed me that like I'm in alignment and I've done a lot of work to get there. So that would be
Oh,
my
I'm so proud of
high.
you. That's such a good
Thank
high.
you. Thanks. It was a high. It's making me feel high thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then
Like you did that.
I did that. And then my low is right when I moved here.
Yeah.
I'd say my low was like honestly pretty much from like August to maybe like a month ago. So like August to around like November. It was really challenging, although everything was in flow and I still felt really grateful. I also just felt like I call this like my recalibration period, and I'm still recalibrating. Like old Christina in Georgia, right? Like living that life. Now it's new Christina. It's like what do I want to do next? Who do I want to look like? I get to reinvent myself. I get to meet new people. I get to meet new friends that actually feel aligned, not like older high school friends that I'm friends with. And I'm happy to still have those friends, but like that I'm friends with because they flowed into my life. Like I was a very different person in that time. So I think like just ultimately the low has just been a lot of transition, a lot of deep like emotional feelings and purges. So that would be like my high and low. So yeah, that's it
Kind
for
of
me.
crazy. We're like flip-flopped. Isn't that weird? Like the time where I was the
At
lowest,
times,
you were the highest,
I
and
kind
now
of feel like I kind of feel like we do that. I've actually noticed. Wait, do you
what
see
is
that?
happening? What happened? Why did I
Did
just
you
get
see
balloons?
that? Me too. Oh, are they congratulating us?
What did we do? Is it because we talked
My
for a certain
hands,
amount of time?
I don't know, but no, that's never happened to me on this. Okay, you guys, for context, we're talking right now, and we just got a bunch of like balloons like float up on our screen, and I did not touch anything. My hands are up. Gia
Wait,
did
me
not.
either. I'm nowhere near my laptop. Like, what the heck? That was
I don't
so
know.
special and
That
cute.
was special. Not them
Did I
celebrating
pay
our high
attention?
and low.
That was
Wait,
weird, but like in a really good way. Like,
that
whoa.
was cool.
Who's
Okay,
listening?
wow.
Who's
We're
in here? Do we
something
do we
big
have
is
a
gonna
secret, like, director or something? Like, who is on this call?
seriously. Maybe you guys can help us like moving forward with our podcast dilemma. But anyway, that's for another time. That was really cool. I feel like
It
wow,
was.
we're
I saw
so
it and I was like,
aligned.
"Wait a minute."
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay. All right, next question, next question. Oh wait, but what I was going to say or what we were saying was that like we are always like I do feel like when you're really up, I'm more down and it's always flip-flop. Like we're and I think
Right.
it's good. It shows
It's
it
perfect.
shows. Yeah.
Yes, you can, like, support each other through that.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's like a
Okay.
real friendship relationship. Okay, next one,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, what are some habits and routines that you'll be taking into the year? Oh, that's
Mm.
a good one.
So habits
Um
and
I
routines.
can
You
go
go first.
first. Okay, so habits and routines, I would say one is like I got the red light therapy mask this year. You know what I'm talking about, like the face
Yeah.
mask. Um, so now I like make it a full moment. So before I go to bed, lay out my yoga mat and I put it on after, wash my face, all that stuff, get cozy. And then I do like a sound bath or a meditation or anything that's gonna just like not be me watching TV, but like something in that realm. And it just allows me to like focus on that like work that I want to do as far as using, sound baths and meditation to my advantage. So I basically habit stack it. And I'm getting wrinkle free skin at the same time and healthier skin. So that's one
Yes.
big one that I would want to take into the year. And then I would say another thing that I'll mention is just breath work. Like Gia knows all about this, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to share with you guys whenever I get back on the mic next. But whenever that is. But I tried out holotropic breath work this year, so it has completely changed my life. It has allowed me to like express the most emotions, like deepest emotions that I didn't even know still were in me. It allowed me to express that. So like that is something that now I turn to when I feel really like full of like a lot of emotions and I don't know what to do with it. And I've done the walks and I've done the meditation and still like I feel very like stuck and full. I'm starting to turn towards holotropic breath work and it is fucking life changing. So that would be two things that I would say to mention for habits and routines I want to take into the next year. What about you?
Those are good. I might try that red light therapy because I feel like I could definitely use that obviously on my face, but I wonder if it'll, like, help my eczema. I'm gonna do some research on that
Oh,
because my
yeah.
dermatologist was telling me about these lights that I could, like, go to the hospital and, like, put my hands under 'em. I'm like, "Girl, you're not gonna catch me at the hospital, put my hands under lights, like, can I get one at home?" So, I'll have to look
Yeah.
and see if, like, maybe I could just, like, get the mask and put my hands under it.
Well,
We'll
they
see.
have like full lights and stuff too. So you could literally just have it to where there is the light and you can put whatever
Yeah.
you need under it. It's also really good for pain and inflammation and stuff
I
too.
was gonna say
So
my hands are hurt, like, to a point where I'm, like, just I'm over it. I need to just fully fix it, but I will do some research into that. But for
yeah.
me, I think a habit, um so I am, like, an overly clean person. I do have OCD in the sense of, like, I know people, like, say that, "Oh, OCD is not just, like, you being organized," but, like, for some people, it actually is. Like, I have to know that, like, if I'm sitting down on my couch my couch is clean. If I'm sitting down on my bed, like I'm not in my outdoor clothes because contamination is real and it like fully disturbs me and will like make me cry and have a breakdown. So cleaning used to and still kind of control like does control like my entire life, like making sure things are like tidy. Like sometimes I still catch myself not being able to do like a certain task if I haven't like cleaned something before. It's crazy, I know. But something I've recently started doing and I want to just get more serious about it is instead of just allowing myself, because I will clean until like 3 o'clock in the morning if like nobody
Yeah.
stops me. Like sometimes it gets to a point where like I'm no longer with you guys in reality. I'm like crazy doing some wild shit. Like when I said like Virgo full moon, like I'm hanging from the ceiling, that's actually every day. Especially if my anxiety is really, really bad, like those symptoms are even worse. Something that's been helping me is like setting timers on my phone and like being like, okay, you have 1 hour to like bust down and like do what it is you need to do. And then once you're done, like you're relaxing. You're gonna sit down, you're gonna like have a meal because I used to just like do all of this crazy cleaning and organizing and purging of my house and of my space, and like I would not feed myself. I would not do like the actual tasks I needed to do, and it was starting to like really affect my life. And like even my husband would be like, are you gonna like sit down and chill out? Like you're acting a little erratic. Like when then like my mom would notice and stuff like that, and even like my dog, like he would start to like get kind of pissed at me. He'd be like, "Mom, like sit down on the couch." Like I can tell like the energy was affecting like literally everyone in my life. And when I realized that it was like becoming that much of a problem, I was like, I have to like do something about it. So setting timers and just like time blocking, just and then just being done. That has been something that has been really, really helpful to me. And I mainly do it like in the morning. I'll do like a quick pickup of the house and then I will like set my timer, then be done and like then do like work stuff, like take care of like actual things. And then I'll do it at night. Like I'll do like a little closing shift at night. And that has been really, really helpful because they mainly you wake up in the morning and your house is pretty clean and you just have to do a few things here and there. So I think just being more intentional like with that has been a habit that's been really helping me. And I find myself like being able to relinquish some control
Mm.
because I'm like, "Oh, I have a designated time where I'm gonna do this." Instead of, like, having it rule my entire day, like, I just have this designated time, I will handle that, and then we will just lay it to rest, and you will be fine, like, you will not die, Gia, I promise, like, because that's, like, how my brain would think. I'd be like, "Oh my god, the floors need mopped, I can't go to bed." Like, yes, you can. You can. You really can, like, I promise you, but sometimes, like, when you have those obsessive compulsive thoughts, like, you think that's reality, and it's not. So just like giving myself more like structure and boundaries with time has been super helpful, and I'm definitely carrying that over into 2024.
I love that. That's a very good idea. I can relate to that a smidge, not as much, of course, but
Good.
definitely like some yeah.
I'm like, that's a blessing.
Yeah, like, but there are some times where I still am like, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, I just feel like I need to go clean my kitchen. Like, I know that there
Yeah.
are a lot of dishes in the sink. Like, I feel
Get
like I can't get comfortable.
stimulated. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I can't get comfortable until I do the thing that's in my head. I'm like, oh, fuck, let me just go do it, you
Yep.
know? So that's a good one for anyone who, like, has the same kind of things
Or
going on
even
with
if
them.
it's not like if you don't have a cleaning obsession like me, if there's
Yeah.
anything in your life that you're like, "Oh, I just like cannot like either like get started on it or you like can't
Mm,
stop doing it." Like either end of the spectrum, like sometimes it's like I
so
have that
true.
like decision paralysis, like what am I going to do? Like I will just like set a timer and I would just be like, "Okay, I'm going to force myself to do this one thing and then I'll be done with it." Like some people have a really hard time like making appointments. Like you need to go to the doctor, you need to have your checkups, and it's like just have an hour of time where you set that timer and you make all the phone calls and you get it done. Like
Yeah.
and then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to like constantly be thinking, "Oh, I forgot to do that. Like I really should do that." Whatever the case may be. You like just get it done. Bust
Yeah.
it out.
That's a good one for us avoidance, is
Yes.
that's me.
Yeah. No, like
Love
it's
it.
both like so real and it can like really start to hinder your life. So just set those timers and get it done. Like I believe that it like will change your life.
Love it. Okay, any other ones?
Other habits. I like it's not a habit that I have yet, but something I really wanna do is I want to finally figure out, like, a fitness routine that works for me, because right now I feel like I just don't know what I like in terms of fitness, and it kinda upsets me because I was really, really active in, like, my younger years, like high school and stuff like that, when I just had, like, that structure, like, I would go to track practice, like, that was my form of exercise, and now as an adult, it's, like, all on you to, like, know when to do it, how to do it, what specifically you wanna do.
Have the
So I wanna
energy
get
to do it, like, do it at the
Yes.
right time of day that you actually have the energy to fucking get it done. Yeah.
Exactly, so it's just, like, a lot more, like, admin trying to figure out, like, how I want to work out, but I do want to take that a little bit more seriously, not because I, like, wanna look a certain way, but because I do very clearly know that health is wealth, like, being a caregiver to a parent who is disabled, like, I know that health is, like, the most important thing that we have. It's literally the only thing we have because without it, like, you're dead. You're not gonna be able to, like, live a full life that of quality, so I want to be a little not a little, I wanna be completely serious about, like, fitness and having and establishing a routine.
I love that. Okay, so let me give you something that really worked for me this year. And when I say this year, I mean like I started this like maybe a month and a half ago. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fresh, but like
Okay.
it has helped me so much. There's an app. It's called the Ladder app. I found it on like TikTok, and basically, long story short, it has a bunch of like different personal trainers or coaches, or call them what you want. I'll say coaches, and they have like it would be like if you showed up to their coaching class where they're like training you, and it's you could
Okay.
they have like a Pilates. I think they have like a Pilates and yoga one that's coming. They have it where it's just like minimal equipment. So for me, I like to go to the gym. Well, I won't even say I like to go to the gym. I'm really primarily more like a boutique class girl, like a,
Yeah,
Orange Theory, Spanga, things like that. I like to be able to just show up, you tell me what to do, and I get to leave. Like, leave the thought work out of it for me. I don't want to be
right,
overthinking if I'm doing something right or if this is making sense. But when I moved to California, I didn't really feel like I could afford that comfortably. Like those classes are typically pretty pricey. So I
right.
joined this gym. They were supposed to have classes. They fucking suck and their classes are never happening. I'm like, okay, you guys are annoying. So then I go to the gym, and like if I even make it to the gym, I'll like get in my head about things, or like, it can be a little nerve-wracking. Like you're around a bunch of equipment, a bunch of dudes fucking slinging shit. I'm like, all right. So I
Yeah.
found this ladder app, and it literally it kind of transforms to where it's like you feel like you're in a class one on one with them. There's a timer, it plays at the same time as your music. So you connect your music to it.
Oh, that's
So when
cool.
they talk, it'll just lower the music a little bit, but like you still have your music. It's very
Yeah.
cool. It teaches you, it tells you like exactly what to do. It teaches you exactly like the movements. It shows it. It's like a video and everything. It's very cool. So it's also
Ladder.
minimal equipment. Yeah, ladder.
I like that. I'm gonna look it up.
LADDER. Yeah. So it's just super easy. Like if you wish that you could have like a personal trainer, but you don't feel like you financially can afford it right now, I'm telling you, this is the next best thing. And the best part about it is like, you literally grab a pair of dumbbells, go to wherever you want, like go in the corner of the gym, where there's like no weights and stuff where
Yeah,
people like stretch, and fucking occupy your space, bitch, and just turn that thing on. And it literally, you're in a class. You don't have to move from that area, which I love. Like, there's no like running
yeah.
around. Grab your weights, do your thing. And that's typically all you need is weights. And there has been a resistance band that's been used sometimes. So I went ahead and got one of those. But
Yeah.
super, super easy. So if you like wanted to even
I
work
like
out
that.
at your house, you get a pair
I
of
was gonna say,
dumbbells.
'cause I already have, like, dumbbells, a yoga mat, I think I even have
Oh,
resistance bands, and, like, I have a whole bunch of stuff,
yeah.
but I just haven't figured out, like, what I like to do in terms of fitness, like, am I a Pilates girl? Am I more, like, HIIT? Like, I just really wanna, like, try more things out, I think, and that might be a really good way to experiment with a bunch of different, like, forms of exercise. I actually tried a Peloton bike too, which kind of spoiled me, and I fucking loved that, but they're so expensive, but
I
listen,
love
if that
cycling.
is the thing that maybe gets me to exercise, like, okay,
It's
then
worth
do it.
it.
Like, whatever, like, maybe that's I'll pull it I feel like I wanna try it out a few more times, like, risk-free, like, at somebody else's, like, establishment, and then be like, "Okay, do I like this enough to actually bring this into my home?" So, we'll see. I'm
Yeah.
excited because, like, I know that when I was really into fitness, like back in 2020, I feel like in the pandemic, everyone was like really able to get into such crazy good routines like at home. And then it's just like once the world opened back up, like my fitness routine also just like fizzled out.
Mhm.
But I do remember like when I would work out, I would feel so good. Like it was such a release, like just sweating and just getting any like physical frustrations out. So like I know the impacts and I just need to like do the damn thing. So I'm gonna be
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, a fitness routine is necessary for your fucking mental health and your overall
Yes.
happiness. And not even that, like for your higher self energy. Like, you want to know how to tap into your higher self energy, tell yourself you're going to the gym or working out, doing whatever the thing is for you 4 days a
Yes.
week and actually go fucking do it. You're going to
Do
feel
it.
so empowered after. It's going to help you up level. Yeah. So that's what I always say. Cause if I had it my way, I would be able to honestly, my ideal life is just sitting on the couch and eating amazing food and like
Please.
watching good
Oh.
reality TV. Like, I have to push myself every day, it feels, to do the things that I know are going to better me,
Make the
especially,
choice.
yeah, especially working out and like movement. So it's all a choice and you do get the choice. But to your point, you got to take the time to find what works for you. But ladder
Which is a
is the shit and I
privilege.
really recommend. It is a
It's all a
privilege.
privilege, but, like, because I have that privilege, like, I need to take advantage of it, like, I need
You're
to do
right.
what's right, and, like, that's something I'm absolutely, like I just downloaded the app now, like, we're already getting it started.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's like a 7-day trial and
Free trial,
then
that's what it said, I was
yeah,
like,
so
"Okay."
try the trials. They walk you through everything. So you'll have to
Yeah,
let me know how it is.
thank you
And
for the rest.
I'll link that in the description as well, y'all, because I really do swear by it. Okay, let's see if we can pound out a couple more questions. Let's see. If you could only achieve one thing this upcoming year, what would it be? Ooh, just one?
Oh, peace,
And
just peace.
ooh,
I'm, like, literally just peace, like, I feel like, honestly, my 2023 was so chaotic for an array of reasons that we do not have the time to get into that right now, but, like, I felt just like everything was so out of control this year, and I would love to feel the complete opposite in 2024, like, I want to feel like my heart is not beating out of my chest over everything. Like, I just felt very
mm,
anxious this year. I felt very overwhelmed. I felt overstimulated. I felt just like my trauma responses were just out of control. Like, I felt like they were guiding everything. And I feel myself like these past few months, like really feeling a lot of inner peace. And I would love to just keep building on that and growing that strength because I think it is a strength. It's a muscle. Like, I mean, for crying out loud, you had your find your inner peace. Like, it's something that you
yeah.
have to work on every day, every moment. And I just want to achieve like ultimate peace, inner peace this year. If
I
that's
love that.
all I accomplish, like, fine.
No, I love that. And I think like once you learn how to attain inner peace, this is why like earlier when I was like my friend said I'm always thriving, like well, I kind of am always thriving, but it is because I don't care how fucking down in the dumps I am, how like emotional whirlwind roller coaster I'm feeling. I don't care how many wounds I'm working through. I always have my inner peace in some respect. I always know how to go back there and I always know how to keep it foundationally inside of me. So once you really learn how to work that muscle and like how to attain inner peace, it really will never leave you, even when you're put through like the hardest situations. Not to say that they won't be difficult, because they will be fucking difficult and you'll be moving through them, but the resilience and the speed at which you move through them will be quicker because you always have your inner peace and you know how to just come back to yourself. It is a game
Yes.
changer, and I wish it for everybody. If everybody could live a life of inner peace, oh my God, the world would be so good. So I am sending
Be
you all
healed.
of I'm sending you all the empowerment and like strength and energy to find that, because I think you're already on that path. All you need is like a tough time where you feel out of control to really help you focus in and make the choices you got to make for yourself. And that will lead to inner peace. So I love
Facts,
it.
yes. I'm really looking forward to, like, diving more into it because I do feel, like, a lot different than I did maybe 6 months ago, like, when everything was, like, tail spinning out of control, and I would love to feel this, like, centered and grounded, like, for the rest of my life, so it's, like, going to be, like, a journey to, like, keep making that happen.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. I like that you just like yours was a simple one. It kind of made me want to just put mine into one word too. I think if I could achieve only one thing next year, I would love for it to be like fulfillment. Like I would love to feel fulfilled and like this sounds I've really put this shit on a pedestal, I think, which is why like it's such a journey to get there. But like I really want to find my life's work and like what I'm meant to be doing. I feel like I think the last time I really felt fulfilled in any way, honestly, was like when I had my dog. And then when Rocky passed away, like I realized like there is a hole in my heart, especially because of him, but also
Yeah.
because like I was fulfilled. Like I was a mother to that little baby and I had something to live for and to work for and to like, make sure that I'm serving his needs. And I think that that really helped me. And so yeah, my fulfillment and just like life's work. I got to find it next year. 2024 is the year because if not, I'm going to go off the fucking deep end. No, I'm so fucking for real. Like, LOL, haha,
Because
but
if
I'm
it
so
doesn't
for
come to fruition, like, you will all be very sorry.
also, God and universe,
Real problem.
yeah, I'm surrendering God and universe, but like you guys know I'm struggling. We've talked about it, so they know.
Like,
But
also at the same time, like, figure it the fuck out for me, please. Like,
I'm not, they
respectfully
know
though.
respectfully and like trusting in your timing, but like I can't. I can't be a Colonel Sanders KFC learning when I'm fucking 85. I guess if that's the plan, fine, but like I don't want that. That's not what I
You know,
want.
just like with all of the love and peace in the world, like, help me figure this the fuck out,
Yeah,
please.
because once you help me, I'm gonna serve. I'm gonna help our world. So like just
Like
put
you're
me
what
in,
like
coach.
exactly, just give it to me and then, like, watch me, like, literally flourish and, like, make this entire world a better place. Like, you'll be doing everyone a
Please.
favor. Like, it's
Please.
just like a trickle down effect, babe. Like,
Yeah.
I really feel though that, like, you're putting that out there, like, you're bound to receive it back. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it won't always be, like, in the exact timing or even in the exact way that you
It's
maybe
gonna be
wanted
the
to.
fucking way. That'll be the thing. I'm like,
Yeah, because we
damn.
all have these, like, even if we don't, like, explicitly say it or ask for it, we all have, like, little expectations or visions for what we think our lives would look like in terms of, like, being fulfilled, and then fulfillment oftentimes, I think, for me personally, it has always been, like, completely different than what I had planned out, you
Yeah.
know? What's that saying? It's like, "Man plans and God laughs." Like, whatever you
Yeah.
believe in, I think that's, like, so true. Like, the things you think are gonna fulfill you, like, the universe or God or source, whatever, is like, "Ah, like, you thought, bitch. You thought. You really thought."
Yeah.
And then like, I
You
love
really
the
thought.
surprise. The surprise is beautiful. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm open, just putting it out there. I'm ready whenever they are. And next year is the year. I can feel it. Like next year is the year that I figure it out and I just stumble upon it. So there's that.
don't
Okay.
don't trip because you will eventually like, I mean, you've also been going through your Saturn return. Like, I think it's all coming
Bitch.
up roses. It's all coming up roses, Christina.
It's happening. That's what I'm saying. So much transition and like shifting into this new energy that I'm not even fully like sure what that energy is. I'm like, okay, you guys are just preparing me. And
Yep,
like they're dropping the dead weight. They're dropping my old life. Like it's a matter of time. That's why I feel like
literally.
2023 will be the year.
Yep.
I'm
I mean,
excited.
patience is a virtue. I hate it, but it's the truth.
It's true. And patience has always been one thing that I have struggled with. So,
No,
but you know what?
me too.
We're,
I'm
we're
the
still
worst
learning.
with it. I'm like, patience is a virtue, and I'm like, make it happen.
Yeah, about everything. Like you're not finishing your sentence quick enough. Hurry up, like
Yep.
everything. So whatever, we're
Yep.
learning from that. Okay, next question. We got three more.
We got it.
How can you take better care of your mind next year? Oh, I love that one.
Mhm.
As if I didn't write it.
I'm like, oh, how do I take better care of my mind? You go first because I
Okay,
need to
yeah.
think about this.
The first thing that just immediately pops up in my mind is what we were talking about earlier, like getting past analysis paralysis. Like, and even like, I'm not kidding. Like, up until like, I just had a decision as simple as RSVPing to a friend's wedding. And I put it on my calendar because I couldn't figure it out. Like, should I go? Is it going to put me in like a financial, hole that I'm not sure that I can like put myself into right now? Like, so many factors. And what's crazy is like human design, which we've talked about on and off, but like my human design is generator. Okay.
Yeah.
I am one of the lucky ones who I know what's for me and what is not. My sacral response gives me everything I need to know. But recently, I've just been so in my fucking head. And by
Right.
recently, I honestly mean like the last 6 months of the year, really ever since I moved here. I feel very in my head. I haven't been making like decisions like I feel like I used to in the past. Things are just taking a lot more time, which isn't a bad thing. Also, I think as a generator, if you're a generator in human design, what I'm learning is that like your answers or like your response to thing, it may not always be a hell yes. And the times when it's not a hell yes, maybe you're like, it's gray and you're like, I don't know if I want to. You just kind of got to wait until you get the clear green flag or the red flag, right? Like the clear yes or no. But I just think overall, analysis paralysis, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna tackle that. Maybe it's just by like making more decisions in the moment, even like with my texting and like getting back to people. Fucking
Yep.
analysis paralysis. Yeah, I think overall just like I could take better care of my mind next year by just like getting out of my head and making decisions and just not feeling guilty after too. Like that's been a big thing for me. Like I make a decision and then I've been feeling a little bit of guilt. I think it's like coming back and being around family. Like before I could just say no, I don't want to go somewhere and it's fine because I'm across the country. What are y'all going to do? Like no one expects me to do
You're gonna come
anything.
get me.
Now, yeah, now people expect me to show up and to do these things and I'm not used to that. So I think I went into a lot of like people pleasing energy this past 6 months and I am not, I'm a recovering people pleaser. So going back there in that sense has been a little challenging. So,
Yeah.
okay, that was like multiple answers in one. What about you?
That's okay. Okay. So I think a way that I could better take care of my mind, and I've been doing it a lot recently, is getting offline, getting off my phone,
Mm,
getting off social media. And I think that you can attest to this as well. But like, I still obviously go on, I post here and there, but it's not nearly to the extent of what it once was. And I think it's been really, really good for my mind to not be like comparing myself to other people, because that's something that I just always fall in the trap of doing. And I think that is the case for a lot of people too, because that's literally what the entire like social media thing is about. It's like people are posting, their successes, their wins, and I think that's a beautiful thing. But if you don't also know like the hardships that they've gone through to get there, you just think that everything is perfect, and then you think something's wrong with your life, and it's this whole kind of spiral, at least for me. So getting offline and just not really like giving a fuck about what other people are doing. Like the people that I want to know what they're doing, like I know what they're doing because like we have each
mm.
other's phone numbers and we keep up to date with each other. Like anyone else who I just like follow on social media, like parasocially, I just like don't need to be bothered with that. It does nothing to serve me. Honestly, it like stifles my creativity. It makes me get into my head more. And I've just learned that it's not something that I can handle in really large doses. Like I had to like completely get off TikTok. I get
Mm.
on like here and there, but I was like becoming unhealthily obsessed with it, and it was just like not doing anything good for my mind. So getting off has really been a game changer, and I'm just going to continue to, I think, lessen my screen time more and more. I sound so crunchy and granola. Do I?
No,
Like, get off your
absolutely.
phone and outside.
No, yeah. No, I've done this. Like I haven't been on Instagram since really I would say a little bit before September, but like I'll just say it's been about like
Yeah.
6 months of me not having Instagram at all. And it was for that reason, especially since I'm moving to a new city, like I don't want to be reminded of things that I'm not going to or like seeing my friends like have fun without me. Like I just need a minute to like process and live in this new space that I'm in.
Yep.
So I think that you don't sound crazy or, crunchy granola or anything at all. And I think like it's really is a game changer. Like, and you know what really has happened for me is I really have realized like who my true friends are. Like to your point, you get caught up with people's lives on social media and you know what's going on in their lives all the time if they're going to post it. But since I've been off of Instagram, I don't know, like what friends are coming to me with updates? Who's like, are we checking in on each other? Like, are you checking in
Right.
on me too? Do you care to know what's going on in my life since you're not getting a highlight reel on Instagram? The answer has been most are not. I don't know what's going on in
Like
a
radio
lot of other people's
silence.
lives. Yeah. So
Yep.
there's something to that too. You really like find out who your people are and like who really cares about you and like you being invested in their life too and knowing what's going on. It's more than social media, like I love getting
So much more.
updates. Yeah. I'm like now I'm in this space where I'm like, send me pics of like what you
Yeah.
do, like whatever. Like,
We're like grandmas, and I love it.
I
Like,
know.
because I feel like there is this part of social media that, like, I feel like people don't often talk about enough is like we're never meant to know this much about this many people.
Correct.
Like, think about, like, small knit communities, like, back in the day, like, whatever your concept of back in the day is, but, like, it wasn't like, we know too much about too many people's, like, inner lives, and it's just, like, unnecessary. It does
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. If anything, it is more harmful than good. So I think, like, taking a step back and really just getting back down to the basics of, like, having that closer knit community with, like, your people and, like, having that be enough and not needing to, like, blast everything on social media. Maybe that's where my resistance comes even with the podcast too. I'm like, I don't need to
Mm,
know this shit about other people. Like, why do they need to know it about me? So it's just, like, kind of a double-edged sword in that sense, but for the most part, it's just been really, really helpful to me to get offline.
I like that. That is a very, very good one. Even if it's for like a month, like challenging yourself
A
to
little
just go a month.
social media
Yeah.
detox. Yeah, like, do a little
Yeah. Just
challenge.
delete the
See
app,
what it
you know?
does.
Just, yeah, see what it does. Just delete the app, see what happens.
Just, like, report back to me, let me know.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, this is our last question.
We did
Okay,
it.
we
I'm
did
excited
it.
to hear this one.
Okay, what is something or someone you had to let go of this year? Do you feel at peace now? Ooh.
Someone I had to let go of this year.
I can take it if you want. I can take it first.
Yeah, you go first because I think I know what I wanna say, but I just wanna, like, refine it a little
Process.
bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh,
yeah, yeah.
I love that you do that. You're so good at refining. I just am like, I can go first if you're ready. I have it all on the top of my tongue.
And this is why we complement each other so
I
well.
know. You really like say what I'm saying or thinking just so refined and beautifully. And I do really love that. So grateful for that.
Thank you.
Of course. Okay. So I would say, what is something or someone I had to let go of this year? Do I feel at peace now? I kind of have had to like let go of my whole life, I feel like everything that I've known.
That's the one.
Yeah, like that's just the overwhelming one that comes to me personally. Like I've
It's
had
like
to
the whole
like
thing.
yeah, I've had to let go of like this old reality, and by letting go of that old reality, I've let go of so and shed like so many pieces, like friendships and relationships and safe spaces. Like, where am I going on a hike? Like, where's my favorite spots to go to that I used to find so much comfort in? I've lost those spaces, I feel. I mean, they'll always be there for me to go back to if I want to, but like I've lost a lot of my comfort in this time through this move. And so I feel like that as a whole has just been something that I've had to let go of this year. And do I feel at peace now? I would say I feel at peace with like letting it all go. I think where I still have opportunity for growth is just like finding my new path and like my new normal and my new people, and just really detaching from that life and like being okay with like me not being, I guess like attending things or like being in those spaces or being in that energetic field anymore. Like it just doesn't feel like I resonate it anymore. It just doesn't feel, yeah, that made sense. It sounded in my head
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Yeah, I just don't really resonate with that life anymore. So I would say I feel at peace with the decision and like the things that have come from it for sure. Now it's just a matter of like alchemizing everything that I'm learning and turning it into like such power and like higher self energy. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I
Yeah.
do feel, I would say, at peace with leaving, losing that part of my life.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you're at that point because it takes a lot to be able to, like, be at peace with, like, anything, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've spoken about how, like, oh, you have that choice to, like, be angry and upset and just to, like, live in those more negative feelings and emotions, but, like, actively making the choice to be like, "I want to move through this, I wanna come out the other end, I want to have more, experiences and opportunities, and the only way I can have them is if I, like, really shed all of that and just, like, come to peace with it." So
Yeah.
that's really inspiring. For me,
Thanks.
I think this one's it's gonna be, like, a little, like, not sad, but I just think it might be more relatable to other people that are in, like, their early 20s. I really had to let go, I think, of any, like, semblance of, like, being, like, a child anymore, like, or a teen or and, like, I'm, like, a full-grown adult now, like, it really I think the second I turned 25, I was like, "Damn, like, I'm in it now." Like, I'm an adult, I have responsibilities, I have a life, I have people I take care of. There's no turning back, there's no, like, saying, "Oh, I don't wanna do this anymore." Like, I wanna relinquish all of this, like, it's on my plate. I made choices, I made decisions, like this is my life. And of course, there are little, changes you can make along the way, but like for the most part, like I'm really settled into this life now. So I've had to kind of let go of any prior understanding of like when you're a kid and you just think anything's possible. And I do still have like that like belief that I can make anything happen that I want to, but also like I'm like really solid in knowing that like this is my life now. Like this is it. Like it's happening and like there's just no going back anymore. And have I accepted that? No. I haven't accepted that. No. Like there are
Do you
so
feel
many
at
things that
peace now? Do you feel at peace now? But that could be the same as
in
accepted.
this current moment, do I feel at peace? No. I don't in that regard. Like I don't because like when you really realize that like you're an adult, like this shit is happening whether you want it to or not. Like you wake up every day and like life is like you're doing it. Like you have responsibilities, you have like shit on your plate that you can't not attend to. It can be extremely overwhelming and I still feel like I'm just figuring out like how to be a functioning, like, good human now that I'm,
Mhm.
like, really an adult. Like, I don't think people, like, talk about that enough, like, that transition. Like, I'm not in college anymore. I'm not in grad school. Like, I don't have this thing to, like, fall back on and be like, "Oh, I'm in school." Like, I'm not in school anymore. Like, I feel like once I let go of, like, me being like in an educational setting. Now I'm just like I'm in the real world, like fully immersed in it. And it like kind of sucks sometimes because like I said earlier, it's like decision after decision after decision. Like it doesn't stop. But also I'm so grateful that I have the freedom to make those decisions for myself. I'm so grateful that I have the support system that I have to like be along with me during all of this hard stuff that isn't always like the most fun. Um, so I'm at peace with it, not fully yet, but I think I'm working towards it. And I think as I get more like experience, like in this like new stage of my life, it will hopefully become more second nature and I will be fully at peace like with what is happening. But right now I'm just sometimes wanting to just like say fuck it to all my responsibilities and like not pay the bills, like not answer the phone when like the doctor's calling and you have to make appointments or you have to do that like anything that's like an adult responsibility. I'm like I don't want to be doing that, but it's like you have to now. Like that's that's it.
It's what you
And
signed
like
up for when you came
yep.
into this
No,
world.
and it's crazy because like as a kid, like you wish and you wish and you wish, like I can't wait to be an adult. Like I don't want my parents like bossing me around, telling me what to do. And it's like, wait a minute. I actually might want them to still like be bossing me around and doing all of the little daily tasks for me. But like now it's on me and like what a privilege it is to like have that kind of autonomy in your own life. But I'd be lying if I said it wasn't like stressful sometimes. So it's a work in progress. As with everything, there's like that dual nature to it where it's like I hate it, but I also love it and I'm grateful for it. So that's I think where I'm at with that right now.
And you're 25 right now, right?
Yes, I'm 25.
25, so you're turning 26 in 2024.
July. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
which I've told you this before. 25, 26 is when think like 25 was a really, I think, like challenging year. And then 26 is where everything shifted for me in the best way. But like,
Yeah.
a lot of things had to break down to break through. But this is one of those like just big years where you're waking up to a lot of things and you're realizing a lot.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Kylie Jenner, I'm realizing a lot of things, guys, and it's like not always the things I want to be realizing. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like I have to do this, that, and the third, or else like everything will fall apart." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Like full stop. Like I wasn't ready for that and I don't know if I fully consented to this, but like we're here now, so like we'll work through it. But it's just like I said, it's a learning curve for sure, like really being an adult.
yeah. Yeah. And I think like it's all about to like balancing all of the things and decisions and everything with like also, of course, self compassion and understanding and
Yes.
like being able to speak up for energetic levels and what you have energy for and what you don't. And, I think that it can feel very like, oh, I'm overwhelmed and like everything is overwhelming. But like, when you bring it back to yourself and you're compassionate with yourself for like, it's okay if I'm not able to answer the fucking phone today. And it's okay if if I miss the
Right.
doctor's appointment, like it's okay. And granted, of course, it's a little different for you because you are a caregiver. So that is a whole nother
But
dynamic that I
sometimes you're answering
truly
the
know
phone for
nothing.
another person. Yeah, so it's
And
like,
then it
oh,
feels less okay. So that is
I
a
know,
whole
like,
thing that I can't
sometimes,
speak
like,
on.
I feel like I'm a parent. And that
Yeah.
is, like,
Well,
something I was like, "Whoa," I wasn't, like,
ready.
prepared for that,
Mhm.
in a lot of ways. Like, I'm so grateful to be in the position I am to be able to take care of my parent and, like, to have, like, this time in my life, but also it's, like, can be overwhelming. Like, it's not like I was, like, pregnant and I had a baby and I was, like, preparing for this, like, thing to change my life. Like, it just, like, kind of happened instantaneously and there wasn't really any, like, reckoning,
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't super like, I didn't make, like, a strong decision. It just, like, this was it? So, like,
Is yeah.
sometimes I'm like, "Oh, that part of my life of where I was, like, not responsible for anyone else other than myself and, like, my own needs, like, that is over? I've had to let go of, like, this isn't just about me." And, I mean, I love, like, being able to live my life for, like, the people that I love because, like, I don't know what else I would do. Like, I love the people that I love so much, and I'm grateful for that, but I just have to be honest that, like, it is sometimes stressful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, like I said, I can't even speak on it because I don't live that life at all. So I can't imagine, but of course, the balance as much as you can. And like when it comes to
Yes.
your stuff and not over, taking on too much if you can't or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
But it's so dynamic. That's a whole podcast episode.
No, seriously, I could talk about that for days, maybe in the future.
Yeah, I'm like, you should talk about that, like
Yeah.
whenever you feel ready to share that. And I know you know that, but yeah, because I know there are so many of you listening too that are feeling that and who are in a similar circumstance. And I can't imagine just like the feeling of overwhelm. Like I only take care of myself and I'm overwhelmed,
Yes.
So
That is a very true
layered.
statement.
Yeah,
Yes.
layered. Well, you're doing a good job. You're doing
Thank
great,
you.
sweetie.
And you
And
are
we're
too. You
grateful
are
for
doing
you.
phenomenal with me with my camera.
Yeah. Well, I think we both are. Like, I think we've been able to see each other through a lot of moments this year and not all the prettiest. But I feel like one thing that I love about us, and like, I'm so grateful that we have this friendship where we're able to like talk about our shit and also talk about like how we're picking ourselves back up and moving forward. You can't do that with a lot of friends. So I'm really grateful to have that with you. But I think that
Thank
I
you.
want to say I'm very proud of us for the both of that, like, or for the both of us for that. I think that we
Yes.
have both really worked through a lot this year. And I think that like it's a true testament to just the humans that we are and the way we want to feel and the way we want to like leave an impact on our world. And yeah, so I just have to shout out to us for being us and
I wanna thank me
yeah,
and you.
yeah, for being us because it does
Absolutely.
matter
No,
and you're doing a good
I
job.
second that.
Seriously.
I second all of that, seriously, and thank you for giving me, like, the space here today to recap everything. Because sometimes you forget over the course of a year, like, what all, like, went down, and this was just a nice moment to lay it all to rest, and I'm excited to move forward into 2024. I think it's gonna be a really beautiful year for
I
all of
think
us.
so.
Everyone listening, like, I feel like a little something fun in the air, and I think that we're gonna be able to really hold on to that and, I don't know, see what happens. I think anything could happen, truly, if you
Anything
just
could
believe in
happen.
yourself.
It's true. And I do want to just take this moment and Gia, I know like hopefully some of your people will be listening onto this. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
say your part too. But I do want to just take this moment to not get emotional, but really to like thank everybody. Like thank you for listening and like tuning in whenever, I do drop episodes and whenever I do feel safe enough to like show up and share, and kind of teach through things that I've learned. I feel like I say this like every other episode, but I really am grateful and I really do love like this little space that we've all built together. And I hope that you are able to move into this next year, like knowing what you want, knowing who you are, and actually moving towards those things. And also knowing that when you move towards those things and you hit these goals and you make these dreams happen for yourself, it may not always be pretty afterwards, right? Like there may be a lot of like messiness in that. And I just want to reiterate that you are so capable and you are so strong and you would never be given anything that you can't handle. And in addition, if you have a vision, it's your vision for a reason and you're meant to go do that thing. So definitely like that's something that I think we can all learn from each other is like going after that vision and just not getting in our fucking heads about it, like just moving forward and doing the best that you can. So I want to thank you guys for just doing this episode with us. I hope that you participated I hope that you felt like you could relate to, you know, myself and or Gia. We're both very different peeps. That's what we love about our friendship. So I just hope that you were able to take something, and I wish you all the best in 2024. You guys are going to fucking rock it, and I'm here for you. Yes.
If anything that we spoke about like instigated something in you that you want to hear more, like absolutely reach out to either of us. I am Ambivalent Bitches. That's my podcast. I haven't released an episode in a little while, but like once I get back into the groove of things, like honestly, I just really want to come to connect and to resonate with one another and just have like, you know, a common goal towards like, you know, living a good life and feeling free to make your own decisions and really kind of let go of the expectations that others may have for you and live independently and really rewrite or completely just write for the first time your own life story and your own narrative. So yeah, whatever you need help with, like we are your girls. Find
Yes.
us wherever we're at.
Yeah.
Christina will have it linked down below.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I will. Yeah, I'll put everything, anything like that I feel like, you know, is really necessary to put in the description. It'll all be in the description. You can find Gia in the description, or how to connect with Gia. You'll find how to connect with me.
Yeah. Actually, like I'll just be sitting there.
Yeah.
Hi.
Like a little Bitmoji just sitting on the ledge. But yeah, I'll give you the Ladder app. I'm going to share all of some juicy pieces. And Gia, if there was anything that you didn't get to share in this episode that you would like to, I just want to give you the space, you know, to say anything if I didn't get to ask you anything or whatever.
I feel like we did it all today. I feel
Yay.
really like energized, you know, like letting this stuff go, it opens up like room to like do the things you want to do moving forward. So I feel like this was perfect. Everything was said that I wanted to be said. And I just, again, want to reiterate how thankful I am for you and our friendship and to have done this today with you, because I couldn't think of a better person to do this with.
I couldn't agree more. So I'm right there with you. And I'm so excited to see how your journey unfolds in 2024 and how my journey and how all of your guys' journey unfolds. I am so excited. We're going to have some fun things going on. So that's really all I have for today. So I'm just sending you guys so much love. Go celebrate yourself. If there's one thing you do, I don't care what the fuck your year looked like, you better celebrate yourself, hug yourself, cheer yourself on. You did amazing things this year. To your point earlier, just getting out of bed is an amazing, notable thing, and it is important. And what you do and the energy you bring to this space and this earth is important, and we are so grateful. So sending you guys so much love. Hope you have a great and a happy new year, and I will catch you guys soon. Bye.